there, hi there, ho there. Okay, much as I would like to get on with the fun part of the podcast, I do feel a need because it's all over the headlines again. Uh, a bit of historic perspective on the whole situation and situation in the Gaza as it has developed over the past week. And here, y'all, have a look at this. You know what? Let's go full screen with this, okay? Now, before anyone concludes that, oh my God, this is another photo of the Gaza and it's blown up. No, actually, these are photos of Sderot after one of the daily rocket attacks from the Gaza into Israel. Now, there was some discussion that they wrote of the whole situation there in a previous episode, and that kind of excitement. Yeah, you can't plan that sort of thing. What you're looking at here is basically what Israel has put up with for 17 years. Okay, these are daily attacks, daily rocket attacks out of the Gaza that has been going on pretty much since the first few weeks that they had possession of that land. Followed, of course, by just the horrendous pogrom of Simchas Torah. Right now, there are all kinds of screams about a ceasefire, which is an extremely bad idea, and anyone with any serious experience with this sort of thing, or has watched this process play out before, realizes what a bad idea that is. And so now the retaliation is disproportionate, and when really, uh, these rockets were getting up to Tel Aviv. And God knows, because I'm not certain I can get actually a body count of all the Israelis kids who got dead because of these every single day out of the Gaza rocket attacks. Collateral damage is a terrible thing, and I'm the first one to say so. I don't like the whole exercise. And collateral damage is terrible. But these civilians are not being targeted. But one wonders just how innocent these civilians are. These are folks who stay just as docile as can be while these relatively few terrorists are actually shooting off the rockets and such. And oh, we're trapped. We can't. We this. We that. Whatever. Last week they discovered where the fuel was that was being stashed by the UN, so that the terrorists don't get it and take it down to the tunnels. And they didn't hesitate to just like tear open the warehouses and loot the place, because these are people who, when they want something, they want it. And if they wanted these terrorists out of there, they've had 17 years to oust them. And as for the kids are innocent until about the first day of school. And if you want to see what they're taught in their schools, the videos have been all over the YouTube and all over the news for decades. What they teach these kids, is that their place in the world, the greatest thing they can do is to kill Jews. So one wonders even how granted they're brainwashed, but if this is how they plan to live their lives, or how they're being taught to live their lives, and they're growing up that way, they're not entirely innocent. Small wonder the Egyptians don't want them back. Yes, I heard about saw the concept paper, and let's pack them up before all the Armenians go crazy. Okay, first of all, it won't happen. It's not practical. Second of all, it was a concept paper. It wasn't an actual like we're fixing to do this. Number two. Number three, the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians won't have them because they've always these terrorists, the Hamas, have always got their money from the Muslim Brotherhood, who got ousted in the coup that is by the junta that's now running Egypt. So the last thing they want is a bunch of Muslim Brotherhood troublemakers marching into their place. So they're not up for it. Funny thing, all these Arab countries with real estate to spare, they can't carve out something for these unfortunate dispossessed people. One wonders why. Um, in any event, it's of greater concern, quite honestly, because I live here, okay, and I should imagine most of our vast viewership, uh, whatever, lives in the States. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about numbers later on. So, yeah, as of last week, our own particular brand of ballistic madness broke 53,000 dead Americans from guns this year. But we there won't be anything coming out of uh, a Congress that has a House that's just as completely delusional as we can expect it to be over this next year. I'm not even certain it's appropriate to go there because it could go on too long. But in any event, there are other things that I've had stacked up. We're going to try to get to those in this episode. So buckle up. It doesn't look to get any less intense from here. Now this. Flat and Scruggs can split their brakes, so can I. Anyway, as promised, we may as well just fire it up and get into it, see if we can keep it brief. One more time with the presidentials. Told you fixed it. All right, quick now, as this is being recorded, this is the day before the big oh my god debate on NBC. So I don't have anything to say about it aside from the fact that a few more lemmings go off the cliff. We're now down to 5. Not that it really makes. What are they running for? What do they hope to accomplish? I still haven't figured that out, but whatever. It's a couple hours, so we're not messing with that. Oh yeah, one quick message for Vivek Ramaswamy. Lyle Lovett called. He wants his haircut back. What I think is appropriate to do really is focus on the two front runners, since at the moment one of them is running unopposed and the other one, it's a farce. So we'll deal with we'll deal with Jolly Joe Biden first, because he's quicker and easier and way less complicated, and isn't dealing with 4 indictments that are sort of weaving into the campaign schedule now, the trial dates, and gag orders and all manner of fun stuff. So we'll kind of save that mix and deal with our current incumbent and highly functional downright brilliant at times president. That, of course, would be Joe Biden, Jolly Joe. Uh, yeah, there has been much said about his age, I think rather too much. What has not been discussed is the performance of his administration, which has been one of the most productive, possibly ever. Certainly in my lifetime. Yes, it was less than promised. Yes, it was less than was even tried for. But it there was something. Okay, aside from, I mean, how many times did we hear about infrastructure week in the in the previous regime, and all we really got for it was a plague for the last year. So yeah, oh yeah, and a massive tax giveaway to people who didn't really need it. Joe Biden's done managed a good deal more than that legislatively, and really is not getting the credit that he deserves or the coverage. What is getting coverage is how decrepit he is, and and every so often he sort of the stutter comes out or something or whatever, and people forget that for 8 years Joe Biden was the designated comic relief in the Biden administration, at least till Luther showed up. And Luther rocked. I'd love to see more of him, but maybe Luther could go travel with Joe. But so the fact that he can say goofy things is nothing new. The fact is, I mean, since he's been president, he's actually pretty well minimized it. I mean, he's not as funny as he used to be. But he's a whole lot more impressive than I thought he would be, and he was not my first choice. There are health issues, obviously, because, the old boy's getting on in years. Well, so there was the recent presidential physical. This was one of these items I figured would keep for at least a couple of months. And first thing we need to know, right, and everyone wants to know, is like, houses, whatever. It's just like, yeah, from the neck up, he's fine. From the neck up, there's nothing, nothing worse than has ever been with Joe Biden. Actually, like I say, the past couple of years has been a significantly improved one, and one that I mean, there's a Democrat in there. I had my doubts, but there's a Democrat in there, all right. But yeah, there's some concern about the way he's moving around. Now, you have to read down column on the report, but you will find it. And what you will find is osteoarthritis in both feet. Now, this is the sort of thing I figure, because I figure came from his days as a football jock in high school and college and what all, where you're bound to at least once a season, get a footful of some big dude's cleats, across the line. And this is why you watch these old timer games. They're all this guy, can barely move. It's that sort of thing because it sets in. Osteo sets in where there's been trauma. Even I have a touch of it. But that's basically what's, I mean, Biden doesn't need a nap, and he doesn't need warm milk, and he doesn't need to be put out to pasture. He needs UFOs. And someone should put the word on him or on Dr. Jill, or, maybe Hunter, give him something to do. But yeah, it's like, get these folks on the blower. It's like, I can hear the phone call now. Hello, UFOs, listen, can you fix us up a pair that look like presidential dress shoes? Oh, cool. Just like, yeah, fix them up, size whatever, and ship them to 1600 and strap a rocket on them, man. Thank you very much. I'm telling you, make a new man out of them. That's an unpaid endorsement. So yeah, I heartily recommend that. Oh God. All right, I stalled as long as I could, and the front runner for the Republicans, the uh, God, twice defeated, twice indicted, or twice impeached, twice or four times, and Eddie Chuke, rapist. Yeah, that's putz. Uh, no, and I never liked him either. That's a longer story that I may get into another time. But listen, when you've been a lifelong, follower of current events, you run out of local stuff and you start sniffing around what's going on elsewhere. It's like, oh my God. Anyway, it's a longer story for another time. But yeah, this is um, yeah, you have. You got. Let's see. You got. We ran this before the kind of tour schedule, for the dates on the various trials, and they didn't. I didn't really get a mix with how they how, for example, the D.C. trial over the insurrection is the day before, starts the day before Super Tuesday, and Judge Chutkin has already sent out the invites to potential jurors. She wants everyone seated and ready and good to go well before the big day. She is not fooling around. Besides, there is always the potential of, if dummy goes and mouths off while he's under a gag order, which he is. Let's see, what is he, like two judges out of three that he's dealing with right now have him under a gag order, which he is disregarding. And man, I hope if I ever get into trouble or just like screw off or go crazy or decide to, embark on a life of crime, I hope I get treated with this kind of deference. I mean, this is just, it's amazing what kind of breaks this crook is getting. In any event, and much is finally being made of just how weird he's getting, out of his wank fests, or pretty much any other time he opens his mouth, and other than to stuff a cheeseburger in it, and well, all right. Look, let's just cut to the chase. Meet the Alzheimer's 3. No, this is not. This is not that folk group from the early 50s. That was. No. This is Fred and Mary Trump and their misbegotten son. And God, is that a hard picture to look at. But yes, they gave him money, they gave him weird ideas, and they gave him a predilection on both sides to Alzheimer's, because both of them, and this is a documented, laid out fact from years back. It doesn't take a great digger to find it. Not if I found it. Both of them went down with Alzheimer's. I don't think anyone dies from Alzheimer's, but yeah, you'll leave the world with it if you get it, because there's nothing really to do about it except, if one parent has it, it's a good idea to kind of keep your affairs in order just in case. If both parents have it, you really shouldn't be in public life, because it's only a matter of time. Now, I'm in no position to diagnose anything other than to observe the same thing basically anyone else does. Is like, dude is just a complete slob and a complete idiot and getting stupider and weirder and more more just into his fascist wet dream every time he opens that filthy pie hole. Um, these are the stakes that we have to consider as voters. There's no Alzheimer's in the Biden family tree that we're aware of. Or by God, someone would have found it by now. And yeah, I mean, it's just someone needs to really start putting out the word that these are the stakes. Okay, Reagan was basically harmless because Reagan was just what I mean. He thought he was going off to shoot a movie. He didn't know where the hell he was anymore. This one goes off the rails with the baggage that he's carried, and we're all in some serious trouble. So, anyway, those are the stakes. That's where the presidentials are holding at the moment. Let's move on to something, please, happier than this. There's only about 48,000 things I could think of that strike me as being more wholesome than where we've just been. Now this. Alrighty then. Well, we managed to survive the trip back to the other side of the studio. So yeah, I figured the problem was either the lights or the camera, and it's still a little bit of both. But the because of course the law of technical perversity, also known as Murphy's Law of Technology, is the component that you need to fix the problem is guaranteed to be the most expensive option. And I paid a price. Fortunately, it was for the pavilion, and I've just sort of swapped them out, and so it's mastering on the and it's like that much more complication than it's worth it, I think, so far. But yeah, we got some. We still got some fixing to do. It's a good time to be back at Radiojew's Revenge, and holy smoke, episode 20 is coming up. Anytime we can put an X up on the screen for a title, why there's no telling what could happen. So you'll all want to be here for that, and because you can never tell exactly what the production schedule is. I'm hoping for Friday next, hoping to finally get back on track here. So you'll want to sort of keep up with it. And the best way to do that, of course, is tap gently and lovingly on the subscribe button. You'll find it really doesn't take a whole lot of brute force at all to get it to light up for you. And while you're down there, you can kind of grope around those three little dots there and pull that down and ring the little notification bell. It may be redundant, but hey, you can sort that out later. And yes. And one other thing now, because there actually are subscribers, and so I kind of want to ask for a little marketing assistance from my massive subscriber base. Y'all, seriously, the numbers are pathetic. Okay, do me a favor, like send some links around or something. I would be most grateful, because it's getting lonesome here, and excuse me, no one else right now is talking about the serious risk of someone with two parents with Alzheimer's actually getting the keys to the White House. Oh my God, a second time. As if we didn't learn the first time. No one's dealing with that. No, no, who else told you about really why poor old Joe Biden's got an issue here? Needs some new shoes. So yeah, this is the place you want to start telling your friends, because I will find these things, and when I do, I will definitely get them up for y'all. It's actually not all that difficult. You just get on a story, just read all the way through it, and don't stop like the second paragraph. I realize I've just like blown my big secret here as to where I get these things, but it's yes, anyone can do it, but so far no one else is. All right, so yeah, good time to tune in. I think we're finally starting to hit a stride after all the upgrades and out flips and whatever and medicals and certain and all that. And yeah, I think we're about ready to just sort of settle in and start dealing with this. Oh yeah, and of course the strike is still going on. Now, with any luck at all, by the time this posts, the strike will be over and I'll be going back to work. Please. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I should ask God or Fran, but man, I mean, whoever, please, come on. I mean, this has gone on forever, and it's not a good sign to be the last union out. So anyway, we'll see what happens with that. I'm hoping, that'll resolve soon. Yeah, watch this space, and always remember, when asked where we would be without the women in our lives, no less than Mr. Clemens, Mark Twain, offered a brief but to the point answer, and that was scarce, mighty scarce. Happy trails.